The United States is widely recognized as a global superpower, renowned for its economic and political dominance, as well as its role as a hub for innovation and business. However, beneath this facade of progress, the country grapples with serious social issues, one of the most pressing being homelessness. This problem, particularly evident in many major cities, starkly contrasts with America's image as a land of opportunity and prosperity. Let's explore some of the cities in the U.S. facing the highest rates of homelessness. Starting with San Francisco, this iconic city, home to approximately 7,182 homeless individuals, ranks as the 10th city with the largest homeless population in the U.S. While San Francisco is globally admired for its famous landmarks, like the Golden Gate Bridge and its proximity to Silicon Valley, an epicenter of technological innovation, it also struggles with deeply entrenched social problems. The staggering cost of living, driven largely by skyrocketing property values and rental prices, has made San Francisco one of the most expensive cities in the world. This extreme financial strain has fueled its homelessness crisis, creating a paradox between its wealth and the growing number of people living without shelter. Next, we move to Sacramento, the capital of California. Known for its governmental significance, rich cultural history, and stunning natural surroundings, Sacramento might be considered more affordable compared to other major Californian cities. However, it is not immune to the escalating homelessness issue. With a homeless population of approximately 9,281 people, Sacramento ranks 9th in the United States. While its cost of living is lower than cities like San Francisco or Los Angeles, the city still faces a severe housing shortage, which exacerbates its social challenges, including homelessness. Then there's Phoenix, Arizona, which is home to around 9,642 homeless individuals, placing it 8th on the list of U.S. cities with the highest homeless populations. Phoenix is a popular tourist destination, famed for attractions like the Desert Botanical Garden and Camelback Mountain. But beyond the picturesque landscapes lies a troubling reality. Economic inequality and the steadily increasing cost of living have intensified the city's homelessness crisis, largely driven by an acute housing shortage. The lack of affordable housing has reached critical levels, pushing home prices and rents out of reach for many low-income residents. On top of that, Arizona is also contending with a devastating opioid epidemic. More than 2,000 residents of the state have died from opioid overdoses, a crisis fueled by the proliferation of fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid. The Arizona Department of Health Services reports that, on average, 5 people die every day from opioid-related overdoses in the state. This alarming trend only adds to the complexity of Phoenix's social issues, deepening the public health and housing crises that many cities across the U.S. are struggling to address. Let's now shift our focus to Oakland, California, a city situated just east of the San Francisco Bay. Known for its rich cultural diversity, vibrant creativity, and one of the busiest ports in the world, Oakland's allure as a bustling urban hub masks some deep-rooted social problems. Homelessness is one of the most pressing issues the city faces, with approximately 9,759 people living without a permanent home, making Oakland the 7th U.S. city with the highest homeless population. The steep rise in housing prices has left many residents unable to afford rent. This disparity is starkly visible when you contrast wealthy neighborhoods like Piedmont, where luxurious homes line the streets, with areas such as East Oakland, where rows of tents shelter the homeless along sidewalks. One local property manager mentioned that the sight of RVs parked around apartment buildings often shocks potential renters, making it challenging to lease properties in the area. It's a vivid reminder of the city's growing divide between those who thrive and those who struggle to survive. Moving on to San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley and the birthplace of tech giants like Apple, Google, and Facebook, the city is home to around 9,903 homeless individuals. This places it sixth on the list of cities with the largest homeless populations in the U.S. The irony is striking. San Jose, a city that boasts some of the world's wealthiest billionaires, also has a growing homeless crisis. The cost of living, especially housing, has reached astronomical levels. The median home price in San Jose often exceeds $1 million, making it one of the most expensive housing markets in the country. As a result, many lower-income residents, including service workers, teachers, and even public employees, are pushed to live far outside the city or, in extreme cases, forced into homelessness. This housing inequity reveals the stark divide between Silicon Valley's wealth and the struggles of its less affluent residents. Next on the list is Denver, the capital of Colorado, known for its breathtaking natural beauty, with the majestic Rocky Mountains framing the city. Denver has a homeless population of 10,054 people, placing it fifth among U.S. cities grappling with this issue. Experts agree that addressing homelessness requires a significant focus on housing, but Colorado is facing a severe housing crisis. The state has the seventh largest housing shortage in the country, with a deficit of nearly 70,000 units. This shortage contributes to rising rent prices and home values, further exacerbating the homeless situation in Denver. Then, there's San Diego, famous for its ideal climate and beautiful beaches. However, beneath the surface of this coastal paradise lies a significant social challenge. San Diego is home to approximately 10,264 homeless individuals, making it the fourth city with the largest homeless population in the U.S. The city's allure for tourists and retirees has driven up the cost of living, pushing many long-term residents to the brink of poverty. One of San Diego's homeless residents, Tracy Bennett, a 54-year-old woman, has been forced to move her tent and belongings countless times as city workers regularly clear sidewalk encampments. Even though she's found a makeshift shelter near the popular Gas Lamp Quarter, government notifications continue to displace her. After living on the streets for 7 years, Tracy believes these repeated evictions fail to address the root of the homelessness crisis. "We're not bad people," she says. "We're just in a bad situation." Her words resonate deeply, reflecting a frustration shared by many in her situation. To her, these attempts to clear out homeless camps are simply a waste of resources, offering no real solutions. Next, we arrive at Seattle, home to 14,149 homeless individuals, making it the third largest homeless population in the United States. Known as a hub for technology and innovation, with corporate giants like Amazon and Microsoft headquartered here, Seattle's rapid economic growth has been accompanied by an alarming homelessness crisis. The city's wealth, driven by its booming tech industry, stands in stark contrast to the increasing number of people living on the streets. One story that embodies Seattle's homelessness struggle is that of Kara Bernstein. Kara, like many others, found shelter in a place called the Jungle, an encampment located under a highway, known for its rough conditions and feared by many. Despite the dangers surrounding her, Kara felt a sense of safety there. After years of living on the streets, she had come to value the sense of community the Jungle provided, a form of security hard to come by elsewhere. This illustrates the complexities of homelessness in Seattle, where, despite efforts to provide shelter, many find solace in less conventional, even perilous living situations. Moving to Los Angeles, California, the city's homelessness crisis is even more severe, with a staggering 71,320 homeless individuals, ranks as the city with the second largest homeless population in the U.S. Los Angeles, often celebrated as the entertainment capital of the world, has a cost of living that continues to rise, leaving many struggling to find affordable housing. Between 2020 and 2023, the homeless population grew by 12%, a clear sign that local government efforts have been insufficient to address this crisis. One of the most notorious areas in LA is Skid Row, a district synonymous with homelessness, where rows of tents line the streets and makeshift homes cling to the edges of industrial buildings. Some homeless residents even draw electricity from nearby streetlights to power their temporary shelters. While the city has made attempts to provide housing for nearly 60,000 homeless people, many refuse assistance, preferring to maintain their independence, even if it means living in precarious conditions. This divide between the wealthy residents of enclaves like Beverly Hills and the homeless on Skid Row serves as a stark reminder of the city's glaring social inequality. Los Angeles' homelessness problem is further complicated by issues of crime, particularly the ongoing gang violence that has plagued the city since the early 1970s. Notorious gangs like the Crips and Bloods continue to influence certain areas, especially in South LA, where drug and gun violence remain a persistent threat. The juxtaposition of extreme wealth and entrenched poverty makes LA a city full of contradictions, with homelessness as one of its most visible and urgent issues. Finally, we reach New York City, often referred to as the Big Apple and the largest city in the United States, which also holds the unfortunate title of having the largest homeless population in the country. With more than 88,000 homeless individuals, New York's reputation as a land of opportunity is overshadowed by the growing severity of its homelessness crisis. New York has long been a destination for immigrants seeking a better life, and the influx of newcomers from countries such as Colombia, Chad, Burundi, Peru, Venezuela, and Madagascar reflects this. Yet, many of these immigrants arrive with hopes of finding shelter, only to face harsh realities. Despite the city's legal obligation to provide shelter to anyone who requests it, a sharp rise in the migrant population, nearly 100,000 in the last year alone, has overwhelmed the system. The city's shelters are overcrowded, and attempts to alleviate the problem by setting up tents and repurposing hotels and office buildings have proven insufficient. Outside of intake centers, such as the Roosevelt Hotel, migrants are forced to sleep on the streets, waiting for a chance at temporary housing. Meanwhile, the city's shelter system is showing signs of significant strain. The surge in homelessness, coupled with declining federal and state support, has made it difficult for New York to keep up with the demand for housing and basic services, leading to a humanitarian crisis in one of the world's most prominent cities.